Assalamu alaikum, everybody. We will just wait for Shaykh Abu Eesa to join the call, and then we'll get started, inshallah. Sheikh, I see your mic is unmuted, but I don't actually hear anything. Alaikum salam wa barakatuh. Okay, everybody. So Shaykh Abu Eesa is here. We'll get started, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Thank you for tuning in. I hope everybody can hear us okay. The chat is open. We would prefer that everybody leaves questions to the end by unmuting themselves and asking their questions on the call rather than typing them in the chat. But if and for any reason you can't hear or there's a problem and you need to flag it to us, you can leave that in the chat, or you could even raise your hand here on the video, on the live stream, and hopefully that will bring our attention to it. So today, inshallah, we're going to be focusing on the pre-package launch stage. We will be discussing strategies that you can implement for Nusuk, inshallah, how to top up your e-wallet, as you can see on your screen right now. We'll also be showing highlights from Hajj 2024. There's a video that we uploaded to our YouTube channel. I'm not sure how many of you have seen it, but it gives a preview of everything that we did last year. And Sheikh will provide some of the commentary for that. And we'll allow time at the end for questions and answers, inshallah. Sheikh, are you ready to get started?
I am. Barakallahu feek. With that, Jazakumullah khair. Appreciate it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everybody, good evening to those folks in the UK, and good afternoon to the Canadians and the Yanks who are coming up to 4 Eastern right now. And just to say that we will do this again, inshallah. All jokes aside, we take the other side of the pond very seriously. Half of our team is from there, and all the senior folks from the team are on the other side. But obviously, the majority of the group is UK based, and so therefore, it's kind of more favorable to the UK times. But all the recordings are there for everybody to catch up on. And the coming Saturday, we're going to do it at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is a great time. I mean, it's also not mad late, midnight for those folks in the UK who are finding this particular one too difficult to attend, or they're deluded enough in thinking that to watch Man United is more important than joining this. I can tell you that the misery of watching Man United these days is worth zero and is to be replaced by literally everything on this planet, like even watching paint dry.
Speaking of watching, I don't actually see your camera on here. I'm not sure if there's anybody else.
So obviously you've got the e-wallet thing up. Let me just unpin that to see if I see myself. Maybe in the chat, if you can ask whether anybody else can see me. I think this is similar to what happened last year. Do you remember?
I can see you, Sheikh. I can see you. So yeah, you're showing.
If you can't see Sheikh, could you please leave it? Everybody who's watching, could you please leave a comment in the chat, in the Hajj 2025 chat? If you can't see.
The ways is to just leave the chat, leave the thing, and then join it again, and then you might find me on camera.
Yeah, it seems like some can and some can't. Okay.
Yeah, we found this last year. Some can, some can't. You need to update your Telegram. You need to go in and out. Hopefully, inshallah, the recording has it. That's actually a concern, right? With that, if yours is the local recording.
I'm not sure.
You exit? Can you exit without it?
I can exit. It will continue, and then I'll rejoin and see if it works then.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't all cut down and all the rest of it, then you know what's interesting? next to your name, it actually says, it shows a camera icon on the side, whereas next to mine, it doesn't actually show a camera icon. So
okay, let me leave and see
if you take your camera off, I just want to see whether your own camera, if you just take that off for a second. Yeah. So that when you turned your camera off, the camera icon went off as well on the side. Now, if I turn my camera off, it's looking exactly the same. If I turn my camera back on, it's not actually showing the camera icon. Okay, I don't know. But clearly some people can see and some people can't, so I don't know. We'll just continue. I don't think it's that important for me to be on a camera, I guess, today, because we have quite a few things that we're going to be doing that are just using the what's on the screen. So I guess, look, we're going to be speaking about strategy. We're going to be speaking about probably the things that are most on your mind, right? And I did promise that those folks that are concerned about the program, how's it work, blah, 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 then I'll give you a little insight, right? I would highly recommend, obviously you've got people who are serious about the program, and you've got those that are, for whatever reason, not sure, not clear, got doubts, blah, blah, blah. The resources out there about this program are crazy, meaning there's so much material. There's a YouTube channel, of course, which has got like crazy stuff, and social media. If you go to the Instagram page and you go to the highlights section, then you'll see like the Hajj live streamed. If you want a really clear idea of what happened, every single day there were a raft of stories that were shared. And so therefore that's going to be obviously very educational as well. But if you go to the website, hajwithae.com / just actually the website, and you look across the top or in the menu for experience, if you click on experience, you'll see that over the last few years, the fact that the program is settled. It's the same as it was in X years and whatever, just improvements due to just the general improvements that occur. Program itself is very successful, and we've seen no reason to change it, only improve it with various little factors along the way. So we're going to show a little video, and I'm going to pause and commentate over it just to give some explanation, because folks might be saying, oh, what's this, what's that? But I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with the e-wallet, because a lot of people are stressed about the e-wallet. People are stressed about everything, and it's going to be funny, embarrassing when you guys all kind of look back in a week and say, I can't believe I was worried about verification. And then you're going to be stressing about e-wallet, and then you're going to top up, and then you're going to look back and you're going to look at the people who are worried about e-wallets, and you're going to say, I can't believe that you lot are stressing about e-wallets. That's just the way that, insan is. They always look down on everybody else when they were exactly the same themselves. And I get it, that kind of stress does kind of get to you, because it's the unknown, isn't it? It's not like that you're scared or worried about e-wallets or verification. It's because you're not getting timelines, you're not getting, you're not used one of these before. And certainly we are not intending to be patronizing in any single way, just because we've done it before. It's literally just only because we've done it before. It's not like we understand it any better, but it's just we've been there, done that. We've got not just a t-shirt, but we've got the t-shirts. So let's just quickly do a quick run through on what this e-wallet is. Now, those who have been here for a long time, right, meaning in the channel for like a good few months, you will know that the first thing and the only thing that I have been emphasizing over the last 3-4 months is obviously to gather your funds, which, as I covered in the last video, in the last webinar, you only are obligated to go to Hajj when you have available funds. Otherwise, you're not obligated. So obviously, those folks who are here have the wealth. It might be here and there and all over the place, might be in different accounts, might be with different people, might go to call in debts, whatever. But the point is that what I told folks to do is to focus on opening accounts that sometimes might take a couple of weeks to, because there's a problem. Otherwise, these new kind of digital accounts open up on the same day. And I was emphasizing heavily in the UK, Starling, Monzo, Revolut, and Chase. And I'm done with the HSBCs and the Halifaxes and the NatWests and what they call the bricks and mortar old school banks. The charges that they've been charging and the liberties they've been taking for so long is crazy. And right now they've been just destroyed by these digital banks that have won Bank of the Year for the last like 10 years in a row. And those who are used to these digital banks know that they're incredible, especially those who travel. The fact that you can buy and you can pull out money from ATMs and you can purchase stuff abroad without any transaction fees, any foreign fees, any commission fees, and you are able to change or pay for things in local currency and not lose any money at all, is crazy. It's actually too good to be true. And but they're making money out of it, obviously, because we're putting our money in their accounts and they're investing it where they're investing it, and so it's obviously a business model that's working. It does sound too good to be true, and you're always thinking, when are Styling going to start charging, or when are so and so going to start charging? Well, at the moment they're not, and I've been telling everybody that get your cards ready. In Europe, we've been focusing on wires. In Canada and the States, they don't have the regulation that allows you guys to do what we've been doing in the UK, and so you guys have less options. So you lot are then restricted to kind of credit cards and things like that. Maybe not so much debit cards, although Wise has come on the scene and is doing great as well. Digital kind of account, which has all these minimum fees and minimum, really, really good results. Now, I mentioned that because, to me, the idea of using a credit card and then paying 3% on top is disgraceful, disgusting. I actually do not personally believe that credit cards are permissible to use. I teach a class called Pure Pesa, which is the fiqh of mu'amalat. We discussed this in a lot of detail. This fatwa is a dominant fatwa around the world. However, it's not an exclusive fatwa. This is a matter of difference of opinion. And certainly for folks in the US, a number of local scholars and international scholars, and I am sympathetic to this opinion, that it's allowed in the US to use a credit card because there are so many fundamental services that are only enacted using a credit card and not a debit card. So I don't want anybody to get stressed out if you are using a credit card. I'm just saying that I don't actually think it's permissible. Personally, it's a matter of difference of opinion. And then forget permissibility, it's a disgusting thing. The way that it traps people and the way that they charge people and everything. So conceptually, it's a disaster. So the idea of it then charging you so much is crazy to me. But obviously, if you have no choice, then you have no choice. But is it true that you have no choice? That's what we're going to speak about today. Yes, the last couple of months, I've been telling you to get your money in these accounts ready so that when the time comes, you can start then charging up your wallet. Now, this wallet, you've all seen it in your Nusuk thingy. We've already gone through this little 10 steps thing. So you can see that we're pretty much all in there. We're all at 3 or, we're at number 4. Some people have actually had it verified. Others are awaiting verification. It will happen in the next 1 or 2 weeks. It doesn't matter if the wallets go live. It does not matter, because the topping up of the e-wallet, it doesn't matter whether it happens on Monday when it opens or whether it happens on Saturday, the 8th of February in the nighttime. It doesn't matter when you top up. There is no system or Nusuk doesn't recognize that we prioritize those people who top up on the day it opens. All right? I hope you understand that. Every single person is equal on Sunday, the 9th of February, when it comes to purchasing your package. Everyone. It doesn't matter whether you have much funds in your account or you have the exact amount. It doesn't matter whether you topped up via transfer or whether a card. It doesn't matter whether you topped up the first second that everybody else topped up or you're the last person who topped up. So I hope that clarifies that people should be calm and relaxed. And the topping up procedure is a card payment. So it's instant and immediate. So everybody's at 4. And 5, as I told you before in the previous webinars, is irrelevant because it means choosing standard, luxury, whatever, which is just a throwback to 2023. They haven't got rid of it. It's completely meaningless. It doesn't matter what you choose. It doesn't matter what you choose. Similar to like I told you guys in the guides and the early videos months ago, that when you're applying to Nusuk, it doesn't matter that you say that I've got the vaccination for meningitis, even though you haven't. It doesn't matter that you put down a fake date. It doesn't matter whether you put down SV123 for your flight number. So when we give guidance, just follow it. It's just not worth your headache or you trying to be logical about it or you trying to be intellectual about it. It's a system and we just know how to milk the system, use the system and be successful at the system. There are folks who are stressed about what they're going to do because they're traveling on the 9th. Just, you're in the right place. We've been here. We've done all of this. You've just got to trust the process. You'll hear this again and again and again and again. And I don't mean everybody else's trust the process. Good luck to them and their processes and the other partners and the other companies and whatever. No, I'm saying trust our process. The Hajj with AE team, we have our own way, our own program, our own mannerisms, our own militant approach, our own, characteristics. We don't apologize for any of it. We're very proud of many of them. And, I was on the chief. He's, He's what we call in Arabic fattan. Fattan means a person who just causes troublemaker. Just troublemaker, chief troublemaker. He's known as a chief, and all he does is tell me little things, sends me a video, and sends me down the black hole. So he goes to me the other day, do you hear about something called Reddit? I said, I've got no idea what the hell Reddit is. And he goes, listen, once you started on Reddit, that's it. So he goes, look at the Hajj on Reddit. And I saw that there were people bad-mouthing people who've only just done Hajj like once or twice in terms of offering a program. Then there's people that have been offering Hajj programs for like 20, 25 years, and people were bad-mouthing, and some people were praising or whatever. And then I thought, you know what, let me just type in a Hajj with AE. And you know what's amazing? It's amazing. This is from the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is from the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'm telling this now, not to just all you people who are here, but I'm saying this to my team as well. So I'm speaking directly to Widad and Danish and Shazad and whatever. I want you to imagine that we've been doing Hajj in the public of public eyes, right? And I want to say now 20 years as a program. And when I say public as public, our social media channels are as public as it gets. You cannot hide. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has protected us from having not even one single negative review can only come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Obviously, it can't come from a human being, that because anybody could just do that to just mess about or to joke or to spite or someone have a negative whatever. And then the crazy thing about that is not that we don't have a negative review, which is mashallah amazing. What's actually crazy is just how militant we are and how much we shout and how much we go, you listen, don't do this and do that and do this and do that. And what I realized, and I hope my team realized this, I know they realize this, but it's a reminder for them, that the reason, despite us being so strict and being so, straight down the point and straight to the point and blah, 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 and speaking so frankly, and sometimes it comes across as rude, even though we know we're not being rude, but it certainly comes across as that. And maybe sometimes, speaking down, and maybe sometimes patronizing, is because of the quality of the people who come with us. Have you actually reflected upon that? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessing upon us is that maybe due to our intention, we want a certain type of person to come with us, and it's almost entirely, well, it's 100% the right type of person. They are common sense, practicing Muslims who know that there is zero benefit for us in doing this thing in the way that we do it, that we might be coming across harsh and shouting and XYZ, but we're not doing it for any personal reasons. We're not trying to put anyone down, but we're doing it so that everybody then enjoys a much more safer, accurate, more stable experience, a more enjoyable experience. And subhanAllah, as I said, that can only happen when Allah opens the hearts of the people and brings them together, makes them united, and makes them realize that we're all moving as one, decisions are as one, that the interest of all the group is the interest of me. That is absolutely fundamental from the beginning to the end. And now beginning to the end is not at the airport. Beginning now is 5-6 months in advance when it comes to us, telling you, trust us, we need you to add us, we need you to pick up unknown phone calls, unknown caller, we need you to send a passport photo, the most private and valuable of information, direct phone numbers and all the rest of it. We're telling you to do it. What am I going to do with your data? What am I going to, whatever? What have we ever done with anybody's data? And if we had done abuse of anything, the internet is an unforgiving place where people are leaving all this information. It is unforgiving. And I don't know who I'm even speaking to right now, but if there's anybody that has any doubts about the integrity of this program and this team, I hope that what I'm saying makes you reflect and allows you to go and do your research, that there's no place to hide on the internet, no place to hide from a person who's spurned, right? And so I hope that this gives you the confidence that when we say trust us, and when we tell you to chill, then chill. When we say turn off the computer, turn it off. When we say to you, put on notifications for the channel, then you jump and you put on notifications to the channel. When I say to you guys, I don't put on notifications for the chat because it'll drive me crazy, then you take my lead and you turn off notifications for the chat as well. When I say, guys, turn off notifications for the chat, but visit it once a day, try to at least once a day, every 2 days, to get a feel and a handle on what the questions that people are asking, the answers that they're receiving, few little updates here and there that we don't want to bother the channel with. You see, we protect the channel. The channel, we could be posting all of our social media content. We post so much stuff. The team does so much stuff on Instagram and YouTube. And we could be posting that in the Telegram channel every day, just to keep people excited and to keep people ticking over. But we don't. We're thinking, listen, if you want that kind of stuff, you can see it on social media. We want to protect the channel so that we only use it for important stuff, because I'm a user as well. I don't want a channel going ding, 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 ding every 5 seconds with notifications. And so when we say to you, keep active on the channel, it's because we're treating you with honor and respect. You're not going to be spammed by it. You can turn off the notifications on every other channel on your Telegram that you're part of, whatever sport, religion, field it is. But this one, I'm saying keep it on. And I'm saying for the chat, keep it off. Just keep, involved in it. So people are stressed about the e-wallet. I'm not, but because you are, let me put it to bed. With that, let's get into the e-wallet. So you've tried clicking on it. It's not active because it's not been activated by Nusuk. So once you click on it, you get the screen. It shows the IBAN. The IBAN is the international banking number. The next screen with that, just keep going through each one now. This one here, for example, is showing one that has actually been topped up. Yours says 0, right? But when you've actually put money in, it will show 60,000, 50,000 Saudi riyals. It will show a certain number. So how will it work when it goes live? When it goes live, you're gonna sign into Nusuk, not running. Let it go for a week. In fact, I want to tell you guys that none of us should be topping up the money on the first day. None of us. All right. So if you're following my move, right, just like the iPhone, you'll be dumb to buy the first week's, the first month's worth of these early adopters versus late adopters. Late adoption has its benefits. Allow the bugs to go out, allow the mistakes, allow someone's money to let someone else get stuck into it. We don't need to rush. I'm telling you, you don't need to rush. So let a few days go by. We then click on the wallet we press the button top up. What's the next one? So you press top up on the actual thing, and it gives you this option. Do you want to do a credit card or do you want to do a bank transfer? Now, both are completely okay to do. The reason that we are anti-bank transfer, we certainly, Hajj with AE, and then generally all the other partners, you would have seen the answers so far, even the customer service team, who, by the way, a customer service team are just a customer service team. They're not the same as us. They're not connected to us per se. They're sitting in an office and they've got a lot of theory in their head. They've not actually been through this. So they're basically parroting what we tell them in theory. So it actually makes me laugh when I see them write, we don't advise you to do bank transfer. And they actually don't know the reason why. Whereas if you ask me why is that we don't want you to do bank transfer, because I still have bloody nightmares about bank transfer, right? The whole team have nothing but nightmares about bank transfer. In 2023, I want you to imagine when Nusuk went live and all the people were trying to transfer their money across and the money basically got lost. It got stuck. It got hung here, there, whatever. The system's gone live and nobody's got money in their accounts. Half the people who paid by card, the majority who use bank transfer. Why did I say a majority? Because of course you're going to use a bank transfer. It's safe, it's free, or the costs are minimal compared to 3% transaction fee. I mean, all the sense in the world was bank transfer. So everybody was doing bank transfer. We were telling people to do bank transfer. If it was me, we had some of the team members who had their family members join them. Like Shaz's missus was one of them, and Danish's whatever. They did bank transfer as well. Did we regret that, or did we regret that, right? The money was then, as you're going to see, it says intermediary bank, address, blah, 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 blah. So I just want to say that we had problems with it. Has it got better? Yes. And I'm going to explain why. Does it mean that I'm going to go with it? Well, obviously, I've told you no. I've been telling you from the beginning that I'd rather you use a card, and that's my preferred method. But I want you to know that if you don't have a card, or you don't have the limit of a card, or you haven't used your card enough, because in the States, I know they're big on that. You've got to use it and all the rest of it. Then, hey, you've got the time to do a bank transfer. It was not like in 2023. So I want you to imagine in 2023, there was no wallet. So what was happening in 2023 was obviously the inaugural year of Nusuk, is that people came into the system to buy. The system's gone live and you got to purchase it. And they're trying to purchase it with a system that's not allowing the money to show, right? The big, massive upgrade in 2024 was this idea of a wallet that you've got like a month or a couple of weeks to slowly just keep funding, which was a genius idea. Honestly, it was a fantastic upgrade amongst the possible upgrades that they could have done. And so therefore a bank transfer has immediately become better than a card. But has it replaced the card in my eyes? No, it hasn't. So you're going to click on credit card. So then it's going to show you this option. You're going to go, yep, you're going to now put in the sum of money. Now, all this information here, you need to know that when you do select the credit card, it's not Amex, it's only MasterCard or Visa. That doesn't mean, by the way, credit card means debit card as well. Okay, so when it opens up, it's going to mean debit card, same thing. There is a 1.5% processing fee, right? But this is not during the transaction. This is afterwards, right? When you're taking the money back with the remainder as a refund. Or, la qaddar Allah, if the Hajj was cancelled for you for some reason and you needed to get a full refund, according to the refund schedule. And by the way, that, as far as I know, the refund schedule has not been published by Nusuk yet. The refund schedule, what do I mean by that? In the next couple of weeks or next week, they're going to release a statement that will say that on this date, if you, up until this date, so up until the 31st of January, if you select a refund, you will get 95% or 100% minus a 1.5% fee. There's always going to be a 1.5% fee. Then it will say the 5th of February, you get 80% back. And the 20th of February, you're going to get 20% back. That's how it works, okay? Now, that refund schedule is a harsh one. When I recall, you know, the reason I call it a harsh one is because it hasn't happened yet, but what happens if your visa gets rejected? The visas are given way past this refund schedule. And so if your visa was to get rejected, right, then there could be some kind of problems about what happens. But there is some kind of, if I remember correctly, there is a, again, this will be confirmed in the refund schedule, that if a visa is not given for some reason, then they will facilitate the entire refund, blah, blah, blah. This is all yet to be confirmed. So leave this to the side, okay? Now, in addition, at the time of making payment to or withdraw from your e-wallet, your own credit card foreign exchange fees may be applicable due to payment being in Saudi Riyals. This basically means that when it comes to actually using the card to put the money in, depending upon the card, you're going to have to pay your own fees. So for credit cards in the US, that 3% thing, that's where it's going to charge you on your statement. So when you look at your bank statement after you've paid this 50,000 Riyals in on the website, on Nusuk, it will show 50,000 Riyals paid in local currency. That's equal to 15,000 US dollars plus a fee of 500 US dollars because of credit card fees. Total 15,500 and blah, blah, dollars. That's what it will look like on your credit card on the app. Whereas here, it will just show us 50,000 deposited. Okay, so you're going to click 50,000 and then you're going to put in all of the standard, you know, just like you're making a payment for a normal card, put your address, city, blah, blah, blah. And then that's it. Now, this was when credit cards were not being accepted. Now, you're not going to have a problem at the moment, okay? Because obviously credit cards, this presentation, by the way, is from last year. This is from last year when it was made by Al-Bayt, and at that time there was no credit card function, but there is now, okay? Now, what's the next option? The next option is bank transfer. When you select bank transfer, it's giving you all of this information that is in front of you. You need all of this because you need to give it to your bank, right? Or you need to input it into your app. So if you are now wanting to do a bank transfer from your phone, you're going to go into your phone and you're going to type in, you know, the name of the bank, and that's that. And then you're going to put in the IBAN. And the IBAN was the number that was on the original thingy, and you'll see it again in a second as well. It will, you'll basically, just go back, sorry, with that. This beneficiary bank, and I'm going to put my hand up right now and tell you, this is half the problem right here. Last year, beneficiary bank address, which is the receiving bank as far as I'm concerned, and in international banking language, that's the you know, what we expect. That when you put into your account, that should be enough. And then you say, I transfer 100,000 and it should all go across. And then we found that in some people's banks, the payment was being blocked, either at the American or the Canadian or the UK end, or in the Saudi end. Why? Because the money was not clearing what's known as an intermediary bank. And there is always an intermediary bank. And if I remember, it's Barclays, which is the intermediary bank, one of these big kind of international banks. And sometimes a bank is going to say, right, I'm sorry, we can't continue with this thingy until you get us the beneficiary bank. Then you've got everybody in the chats, what's the beneficiary bank? What's the intermediary bank? What's the address? Blah, blah, blah. All this massive faff and stress. Then you're going to get that address. You're going to then get back onto the chat with your bank and you're going to say, right, this is what it is. Then it takes another few days. This is the point that I was making of why would you put yourself through that stress if you've got the card payment? The one thing I was saying on the other side of the argument is that you have 20 days now to do this. So I'm not anti-transfer anymore. If a person starts this on Monday, even if it goes completely wrong, meaning you put the wrong IBAN in and you put the wrong intermediary bank address in and you put the wrong beneficiary bank address in and you had to go back and forth to your bank a couple of times, that's more than enough time. That's like 4, I want to say, business weeks. So you got Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday, and I think Monday to Friday. That's like 20 working days for a bank transfer to occur. So I'm not, rubbishing it totally. But my preference is obvious. It's just to pay via card on the bank thingy. Please go through. I don't think there's anything else. This is just
Chief,
Chief. Yeah, Chief.
Chief, I'm gonna break all the rules and say that I'm strongly against bank transfer. Honestly, because our experience with my family, I remember Arfan came, yeah?
Yeah.
Arfan came 23. And you're confused in the years. In 23, we didn't have an option for a card. We only had bank transfer.
Only bank transfer,
Only bank transfer. And I was on chasing his money. And his money was stuck in another bank in Saudi, so this intermediary bank. And they're trying to move it was such a headache. So it should be, for me personally, it should be the last resort that you go to a transfer.
Last resort.
Doesn't make sense. Especially if your money's in your account anyway. So why would you not use a card rather than a transfer? The Americans, hands up, I don't know what's best for them, but for us guys, it should be.
Last year, did they have the intermediary bank issue again as well?
No, last year, because we didn't use many cards last year.
Many
transfers, yeah, because we.
I want you guys to know.
I know because I dealt with a lady who paid like 2 or 3 times over. Money is getting stuck. They had a 7-day limit on you've got to be paid up by 7 days. So because the money was disappearing, people were in 2 and 3 times, and they got their money back in the end, but the stress wasn't worth it. And certainly now, if we can use a card to pay from the same account that we're going to do transfer upon, why would you not use a card?
No, Jazakallah khair, Chief. And I'll just add to what the Chief just said, guys, that the level of stress, as he said, is not worth it, to the extent that the level of stress is worth asking somebody else to pay if they've got a card. That's what I was going to say, right? That if you know somebody, you do not need to have your own name on these cards. And yes, it can be multiple cards. And yes, it can be multiple payments. And know that there's no real argument for doing a small amount or whatever. This is not a fake website, right? If you want to do a test payment of $5, blah, 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 okay, that's fine because you've got plenty of time. But you can use your account, multiple cards. You can use somebody else's cards. Just need to know that why it is that we tell you to have one card in your own name because you are always going to put in more than what the actual amount is. You're not going to be guessing, by the way, because we've been told already that when the e-wallet goes live, because previously the e-wallet goes live, but the packages don't. So in 2024, the e-wallet was active, but the packages was not active. So nobody knew actually at all how much the packages were going to be. And therefore, they didn't know how much to put in. Now, you're going to see at the same time the cost of the package and the e-wallet opening at the same time. So you're going to know exactly how much to put in. You get what I'm saying? So despite that, you're always going to put in an extra X. So I haven't come to the decision on what that is. When I sit there and do the sums, I will tell you that I want everybody to put in 500 extra reals or 1,000 extra reals. We know that we're going to be in the 50,000, 55,000, 49,000, 58,000. It's going to be in this kind of region, depending upon last week's seminar. We did the sums, didn't we, right? And we looked at the kind of the prices for UK, US, Canada. and it's in that region. Because 50, 60, 49, 45, 58. It's in that area. And now we don't need to be guessing. We're going to know in a couple of days exactly what the Toronto gateway is going to cost, what the JFK gateway is going to cost, what the Manchester gateway is going to cost, what the London gateway is going to cost. Only 4 gateways covering 3 countries. These are going to be exact figures in Saudi riyals. And so when you look at it, there's a tax as well, but it's included in the VAT, blah, 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 and so all this other bagwas tax. It's included in the price that you see. So you don't need to worry about that as well. But why then do you need to put something a bit extra? You need to put a little bit extra because there were some cases of 1% and 1.5% being added afterwards. And then we had people that had to transfer or pay in that extra 1%, and it became a headache as well. So for the sake of putting in an extra 1,000 or 2,000 riyals, a couple of $100, for the sake of that, you'd put it in. And after the Hajj is done and the visa is all done and everything's, and like my saying, we're not touching it until we're on the plane. But once we're on the plane, then on your phone, you'll just say, activate refund, right? The remaining couple of $100, which is in your account. They take 1.5%, as the statement said, and then they send it back to you. And that's it. And you lose that 1.5%, but so what? So in summary, we're telling you this is a very easy process, especially for those folks that have primed their cards already. And when it comes, we'll give it a few days to see how it's going. And then we'll have a clear idea on the thingy. We're going to have a webinar where we're going to say, right, guys, let's go through the cost of the Canadian one. Let's go through the cost of the London one. Let's look at a bit of strategy. So there might be people in the UK that are saying, right, AE, which one should we go for? Should we go for London or should we go for Manchester? Yeah, I need it from a price point of view, because there's a lot of strategy that goes into this, right? Because the prices are going to be multiple, right? So London's going to have 3 prices. London's going to have a double price, a triple price, and a quad price. Then there's going to be Manchester. It's going to have a double price, a triple price, and a quad price. Then there's going to be JFK, a double price, a triple price, and a quad price. And then it's going to be Toronto, a double, triple, quad. So there's going to be 12 different prices that are dependent upon the type of room and the location you're coming from. And you are going to be 1 person, 2 people, 3 people in your family. And so you're going to do it times 3, whatever the room kind of configuration you're going to do. And then you're going to put the money in. You're going to stick a couple of % on top just to make sure that everything is covered in case there's a problem. And then it's going to be there. And then we start discussing, right, when it goes live, this is what we're going to do. We're going to select this and it's going to be ready. We're going to put it into actually in a couple of days, you're going to be able to choose the program. So the AE program for Toronto, the AE program for whatever, which of course is one program, but it's just talking about different flights. And you're going to add it to your checkout, your basket, and you're just going to leave it. And what's going to happen is that on the 9th of February, whether you're involved or whether someone else is involved, whether we're doing it for you, whoever is doing it for whoever, just going to go straight to, people are worried about, they can take money out of my account, they can steal my details. Bro, we can't do anything, right? Your money has already been spent on the package and it's in your basket. Like imagine if there was someone rogue, imagine I went rogue with your details, right? And we'd be asking your family and, you to ask your family anyway. But if you want us to help, and we will have a team of helpers, this is what we did last year. And it worked very well for the folks. And you've seen, obviously, in the group, people from last year mentioning that as well, that the program has already been selected. It's already been put into the basket. And therefore, the money has already been spent on the program. Like you can't mess it up, quote unquote, right? But we're going to speak more about that in the not the next one, but probably in the next 2 webinars, especially when it goes live. So what we're going to do, I think, is that we're going to in a couple of weeks' time, when the system is live, the packages are up, then everybody's going to be able to see this is what we're going to do now. We're going to select this, do that, put this in your basket, and then everybody's nice and comfortable, and you can actually enjoy Sha'ban and not be so stressed like some people are. Right. Let's carry on through that. I don't think there's anything else to see here. This is the account number thingy. It just shows you how much. Then this is this is after it's done. With that, see it out. I don't know if there's anything else there. Once your own bank details, this is the bank transfer. It will give you an IBAN that you can then you can put into your app so that the transfer can go ahead. Yeah, carry on. And then it will show you this. And again, look at this category on the left-hand side. It doesn't matter what it is, whether you choose luxury or premium, completely irrelevant. And it will show your amount there, which you're not going to care about or see or whatever. Just a reminder, everything is on hajj.nusuk. Yeah, thank you. You can remove that now. And yeah, I don't even know whether my camera's on or not or whatever. But
if you'd like, Sheikh, I can interrupt the call and try something and see if that will fix the problem. But it will mean that we'll have to have two separate recordings.
I don't know.
I see you okay, Chief.
Yeah.
Chief, I see you okay.
Let's stick with it, man. Fuck Allah.
Okay.
We can research into it to work out why this is happening. But right. I think the next point then is that we want to speak about. Let's what do you think with that? Do we take some of the immediate questions on while it's fresh in people's minds, or do we move forward?
My only concern is that I think it might take a long time to go through questions.
I agree. Guys, just hold on with your questions of thingy. Let's just finish off the remaining points that I want to cover. A reminder, again, that everybody does need to watch the first webinar where we covered a lot of conceptual stuff, right? For example, the strategy. So I'm getting questions, the team are getting questions about things like, and you saw one of our last year's Hujjajj, Arafa. She wrote about how her and her husband had planned to come, but they had spoken to me, and listen, I always give people, I don't want to say the best advice. I give people what I would want to be told myself. That's how I speak to people, right? If I ask a question, I want it answered this way. So that's how I speak to people, right? So when people say to me, I'm husband and wife and I want to go to Hajj, I say, that's great. And I go, so I'm guessing that you're planning for a double room. And they go, of course, right? Of course. Now, I just want to speak for a minute about this concept. This idea, I actually want to say, is more Western than it is Islamic. What do I mean by that? Of course, it's something which is great to be with your husband and wife and maintain that kind of privacy and be in a double room, blah, blah, blah. But if you approach Hajj as, hey, this would be nice to do Hajj and have a holiday and a break as well, right? Which is halal, of course, because, I mean, you are, because you're staying in great hotels. You're going to have a really fun time as well, because that's the only way we stay sane. We're like full of banter 24/7, not even for your sake, but for our sake. You've got to ask yourselves, we're doing this year on, every year, it gets so boring. How do we break the boredom? By making sure that every year is different, every year is fresh, every year is fun. So we don't care about you lot. We've got to make sure that it's fun for us. And if it's fun for us, then it becomes fun for you folks too. And so I want you to know that absolutely there's a holiday vibe, but this is an act of worship first and foremost. And our objective with this program is unashamedly an agenda. I have an agenda. The agenda is that I want you to be students of knowledge afterwards. I want you to make sure that your children grow up guided. I want you to make sure that as a community, you are contributing post-Hajj in those things that you weren't beforehand. I need to know that there is a real, tangible increase in your practicing this. Therefore, the Hajj program has got to be more than just a holiday, but rather it's got to be the best Islamic experience possible. Like, are you serious about improving your deen, or is it just a claim? You just want to tick box the Hajj and pretend that you went on a practicing program. You got to ask yourself and be honest with yourself. If you're genuinely honest that you'd love to be able to have your heart open to this, and I would love to be able to get rid of my shame with the Quran. I can't read it. I'm embarrassed. I'm feeling really worried about it. But it'll be great if everybody's in the same boat and I can establish a habit where now I don't stop doing the dhikr and I'm reading Quran, however rubbish I'm at it. And I know I'll get better because these guys will show me the resources and they'll know that, and they'll be with me along the way and help me along the way and teach me along the way. And I'm talking for years afterwards. If you're wanting to do that, then I need to tell you something. You being in a private room with your husband and your wife is not the most conducive situation. That's already turned into a family scenario. It's already turned into a holiday scenario. You've got to ask yourself that if I am ready to embrace this as what it should be. And that's why Arifa's comment was so useful, because I told her that from the beginning. And she was full of doubts. as is obvious. And the husband being the husband, obviously, was like, man, that sounds sick. I'd love the idea of being single, and and being in a quad room with the lads. And the women are a bit more sensitive to that. They're a bit more sensitive when it comes to sharing and whatever. And I was saying to her, Arifa, listen, that absolutely, if you want to go on the double, get yourself ready for the double. Mentally, get yourself ready for the double. Mentally, financially, it's costing more. Put extra into the account for the double. But I want you to know there are a lot of people that I try to convince, and they're like, well, you know what? We love AE, we love him a lot, but we don't care about what he's saying, go for quads or go for triples. We're going for a double. So most people actually ignore me. And as a reason, and therefore, the double is the most in-demand room, and therefore the double is the one that expires, or the quota of doubles runs out. So if you imagine, right? We've got so many spaces. Everybody here in this group will get a space. So that's the first thing that you got to just get out of your head, that there's a quota and your program is so in demand, I'm not going to get a place. There's 500 plus spaces in our program this year. 500. We don't even have that number of people in our actual participants, in our actual chat group. And you can see in the channel, why is it that I'm killing myself every day speaking about the channel? Look at the channel, at the subscribers. People looking at the subscribers and thinking, oh my God, I'm dead. There's no way I'm getting on this program. Bro, wake up. 500 of those people in that channel are just people there for the vibes, right? They've been Hajj last year, Hajj before, people not even going to Hajj. They're people from an LP, they're people from social media, they're people who like all the eye candy on Instagram. They're just wanting to know what's happening, what's going on. Let me just keep tabs on these folks. Let me just get ready for my Hajj journey in a couple of years. That's why when you see an announcement go out, look in the top right-hand corner, you'll see that the number of count of the people who are actually reading that message. And you'll see each time it's like 300, 400. When the number goes up, it means that's you going back to the channel to visit it again. So these numbers are not to be seen as something that should be stressing you out. I repeat, nobody in 2024 didn't get into our program that wanted to get in. And that's what you've got to have in your mind. But whether you will get the room that you want, that's something else. I'm going to tell you right now that if you're absolutely, dead cert on a double, you're facing a struggle there. Absolutely, you're facing a struggle, because that is the most in-demand room. And therefore, when I talk about strategy, I'm saying to you, mentally have a chat with your family set up and say to them, you know what? I'm just actually going to go for the quads from the beginning, or I'm going to go for triples from the beginning. I'm not even going to bother with the double thing. Or you say, you know what? Let's be clear about this. Let's go for a double. And when they want us to get involved in this, that, whatever, we will. But if we find that when the double goes, when we're trying to check out and it says double, so that can happen. So when you press checkout and the system goes live and you press buy, and then it comes back and says double sold out because everybody's just bought a double at that moment, that you don't have time to be thinking then. That's why I'm doing this session with you now. Your strategy is that, okay, I'm ready for this. We're going now for quad. Now we're going for the triple. That's what we're going to go for. And what does it mean? Triple means that now I'm going to be separated from my wife and I'm going to be with 2 other single males from whoever or wherever. And the woman's going to be thinking, right, if I'm now going to go for a quad, in a different kind of setup and different account, right? I'm going to go for a quad, then I'm going to be sharing with 3 other women. And here's the great thing. This is not a commercial program. Alhamdulillah, the people that join this program are very like-minded, right? This is not a high street travel agent. People seek out this program. People come here because there are like-minded people that you love and trust and know that have told you to join this program. And therefore, people are roughly, despite age difference, despite culture and ethnicity difference, people are roughly on the same wavelength, which leads to a really great experience. And that's why we're going to play the video. You can't fake smiles and love and unity and buzz and people coming in or whatever. You can't fake that. We create it. We're good at it. But ultimately, you still need the components. And the people are ready for that. The people themselves are invested and are willing to, put the shoulder down, sacrifice if they need to help another person. If it means, doing something that you don't normally do in order to not upset other people in the room, that's something I'm going to be doing sessions upon sessions as part of our Hajj prep and everything else. before we end up in Basecamp where we're all split up into quad gender rooms anyway, before we go to Mina and we're just 200 men in here and 300 women over there, before we go into Arafa where we're all 500 people in one single tent, before we go into Muzdalifah where there's 10,000 of us in a pen lying on the floor, no cover, nothing like this, everybody exposed. There are levels to the sense of privacy and individualism that you think you're paying for. And you need to be aware of that. Is it really worth it that I'm paying for a double? Is it really worth it that I'm, insisting on me being with my family in a quad? I want all of my four. I want my brother and my sister and my father with me in the quad. And absolutely no. I'm saying, guys, this is not your normal holiday that you're going to Butlins and you don't want to mix with the Kofsiani somewhere else. You are one big group, one unified group of single people. That's the way I like you to think about it, that you're all 500 single people, all part of one kind of body and unit. And if you've understood what I've said, this will allow your strategy to become effective so that if the situation occurs where you don't get what you think is your first choice, you've got a second choice and a third choice, so you know why. So that's the information I wanted to say about strategy, folks. I don't think there's anything more that I need to say that. Let's quickly play the video just to give you an idea as I commentate over it. I don't know if it's going to work, but I think with that, if you're still here, you're going to have to speak to me and tell me because I can't look at the Telegram while sharing the screen. It says I'm sharing the screen.
I don't actually see anything myself.
Danish, is it showing the screen?
We can't see you, Sheikh.
So I can see it, Sheikh. I can see it now.
You can, but not everybody can.
So I don't know, maybe because it seemed like everybody could see me at the start of the call, so maybe I should be the one to play it.
Yeah. So guys, just so that it's clear, I'm going to ask one more time. I'm going to play the video. So the video is playing right now. So if you can just comment, can you see it and not see it? So on the microphone, we'll have you, Chief, and the Danish, and in the chat, the rest of you. Did you guys see that or not?
No, I'm not seeing anything.
No,
You've got two screens showing, but neither of them we can't see you, we can't see the screen.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's answered that. Then it's got to be you then, Widad, and you're going to have to do the video on your screen itself. So I'm going to commentate, folks, over this, right? What we're doing this for. So if you maximize that or do whatever you want to do with that, yeah. And I'm just going to kind of quickly speak of what you're seeing. This video is the same as the 2023 one. It's the same as the 2019 one, which was the last Hajj before it got closed down. Obviously, no Hajj 2020, 2021, 2022. So this is the same as the 2018 one, 2017 one. It's a chronological journey of what our Hajj program is. So let's play. What you're seeing right here is our physical seminar. This physical seminar is going to be in a central location in the UK, and all of the Canadians and US are all online. So if we just pause it here. So if you just look, there's a multiple camera system that is transmitting the entire program. You need to go back with that. We're talking about the seminar. So if you look at the camera, you'll see that there's multiple camera systems right here now doing the whole thing. So yeah, the people that can come, and I expect everybody in the UK to come here. What do I mean by that? I mean that it's a day out. We've got the date already. Put it down. It's May 4th, inshallah. It's a bank holiday weekend, so there's no excuse. It's a lovely day out, and there's lots of treats, lots of fun. There's lots of khair in this. There's also some things that will be given out, such as bag tags and paperwork and all this kind of stuff. Key information is given. The people who are online don't need to worry about that because you will receive that from the team members when you arrive at the airport. So this is beforehand. As I said, this year, it will be May 4th. Play on. Then, of course, the team are going to be in the airports. As you're going to see now, this is now the team meeting everybody and helping them with their baggage tags. And these are very important. There's a full system there. That's Doc Abid. And that's some of the folks that came in 23 and some of the group leaders. And this is people arriving now. This is the Medina airport, arriving into Medina, and immediately we jump into our tours. All right. So we get familiar with the masjid, and then we start then going to various places. Every day there are briefings on the group. We gather, we go in, we learn the right things and understandings of how it is that you pray as a traveler, how you do X, how you do Y. We will then do some sessions. We'll then do some, one of our premier activities is going to be the Quba walk, which is not just going to Quba. There's a number of things that we'll cover along the way. We'll cover finances, we'll cover zakat, we'll cover X, cover Y. Every additional possible religious act of worship that can be done in the Arabian Peninsula, we will. This is the 2024 group, all of them there. In the evening, then we will then go to the Mount Uhud, and this is a unique moment as well, which you'll really enjoy. Then it will be time to go and do Umrah. We'll be preparing for this beforehand, okay, because we will not be covering the fiqh of Umrah over there, but we'll be doing a detailed study program. So you'll get to the Medina station. We're going to go on the high-speed train, inshallah. It's very, very nice and convenient. This is us now all arriving. You'll see some people there. They are our alpha team, as we call them. This will be some people that I will select from our Hujjajj that I see that are above and beyond, and they're going to be honored in a special kind of capacity. This is then the Umrah. We're going to do this at nighttime. We're going to be preparing heavily for this act. It'll be a full Umrah because we will be as a group doing Hajj Tamattu'. Then it's a great couple of days in a very nice hotel at the Hilton Convention. And then obviously this is a recuperation time as well as a heavy on the Haram time. So we're going to have activities like this. This is the group Tawaf. We'll be doing this 1-2 times, whatever if we are able to do, where we're going to go around, do a tour of the Kaaba where, as you can see, everybody's wearing headphones, and we are doing a transmission where I'm giving a commentary to everything. So the technology that we use to ensure that everything happens to the level that I want it to is absolutely guaranteed. There's going to be a massive logistics operation. There's going to be people that I'm going to ask for help. There's going to be the team. There's going to be other Al-Bayt folks where we're going to do the mass movement of, that was Arif Shazad and Shaykh Abdul Ghaffar in the back. There's Danish there. And there's some of the Hujjajj. And there's Widad right there. And that's Reem.
Can I cut in?
Yep. Pause.
Chief. I've had quite a few questions about movements. And I think people, one of the concerns with shifting is, we're going to have to move our luggage and make X, Y, and Z. And I've been telling people that it's taken care of on a different level, inshallah.
Yeah, if you saw, Jazakallah khair, if you just saw the system that we have, you know, when we talk about being militant, we are militant. Like, we will beforehand have a ribbon system, a colored system that you will apply to all of your bags before you even arrive into the country. Or even actually maybe in Medina for some people. But the point is that your bags will be given numbers, codes, this, that, whatever. So that when it comes to each movement time is of course stressful. So moving into Medina, moving out of Medina, moving into Makkah, moving out of Makkah, and then going home eventually. There's no doubt that these are the touch points of the program. We'll speak more about that in detail in the webinars and the seminars and everything. But I want you to be rest assured, if you follow our instructions, you will have the most stress-free, relaxed experience ever. When I say to you guys, I want your bags outside your rooms at 9 o'clock and make sure that you've got your ribbons on it, you just do that. And then you leave the rest to us. You'll find your bag outside your room in a different part of Makkah. You don't need to worry about anything. Our system, our volunteers, our team, our support staff from the support staff from Al-Bayt, they'll make sure of everything. So this here is our 2024 Basecamp. This is the Aziziyah building. This is what we've shifted to. And as you know I'm very big on that. In the next 1 or 2 weeks, you're going to see some videos that are going to come out. I'm going to answer all of your questions about what does Basecamp mean? What is the Aziziyah building mean? What is it that your shifting means? Our Hajj comes alive here. This is every Hajji's favorite part. People are scared of this. Now ask all of the people that are on the group that went 2024, went in 2023, what was their favorite part? They'll tell you the Basecamp. Because our Basecamp, our Aziziyah building, our shifting part of the package is exclusive to us. There is nobody else in that building except us. So we take over the entire building. So this is what we call the Hajj retreat, because we own it. Now you're in my hands and my program now gets played. So now what you're seeing is everybody chilling. This is where we eat, pray, carry on with this, with that. We're all in rooms. We'll get all my mates. Obviously, I've got a lot of friends that are going to be doing Hajj as well. Just pause it here with that. I want you to know that obviously our program is unique in that I love maybe is the wrong word. I cannot possibly imagine it being any other way that I'm not involved in everything from the beginning to the end, that I don't know everyone personally, because I can't get invested in people and take them where I want to go if I don't know them individually. And I know that you think that's difficult, but not for the team, not for me. We've been there, done that, and you're just gonna have to take our word for it. Now, the other kind of famous speakers, celebrity speakers, all the kind of friends and whatnot that people get attracted to, this is not their way. It's not their brand, and their followers don't expect it either. They want a celebrity guy that they just, wheel out, wheel in, give them that heart-rending kind of lecture, give that reminder, and that's it. I'm happy. I went to Hajj with so-and-so, and he gave us a lecture. And you won't see these people. And that's not to knock them. They're some of my closest friends. But you won't be with these people. They don't, for them, it's just logistically difficult. It's something which doesn't fit in their kind of the way of their dawah. Like myself and Yasser, who's obviously one of my closest friends for many years, we speak about this all the time. And I'm saying to him, listen, man, it's not right what you do. And his argument is a valid one. He goes that I can't give this individual level of support to people. I've got to think about larger numbers and certain amount of impact, whereas you can focus on smaller numbers and a deeper level of impact. And he's absolutely right. And so this is not about us saying that that's wrong. It's about you understanding the difference between the experiences. Now, having said that, whenever some of the boys are around, then they will obviously prioritize me because they know that they'll get slapped if I tell them to come to me and they went somewhere else. So I know that people like their favorite speakers and their whatever, and we will try to have something in our building. This is our building. You see, look at this. This is our musalla. Only our program can do what you're looking at here. This is the vibe. Everybody's going to be in here praying, chilling, dua, dhikr, lessons, Q&As, just fun, just relaxing, everything. Every day there's going to be sessions that people can attend and they want to attend because it's good quality content. You got the Sheikh, of course, the voice of Hajj, Shaykh Abu Eesa, who's going to be leading Salah as well. And this year, we have an even better building than this one, which is crazy, by the way, but it keeps happening every year. It keeps getting better. Alhamdulillah, we're very grateful about that. Obviously, the activities are so many different types, whether it's demonstrations, whether it's workshops, whether it's Q&As for sisters, brothers, private one-to-ones, blah, blah, blah. There's going to be obviously a team with me as well, but I am there in front of you. There is nowhere for me to hide. I'm on the same floor, same rooms as you guys. That's our brand. We're proud of it. Now we just move on with that. Let's get this over and done with. There's some, this is just like the normal daily sessions. We've got the Q&A sessions as well, which are kind of more kind of unique thingy. This is Shaykh Abdul Ghaffar giving a quick reminder after he's making dua after the salah. This is with that, I think, giving a session for the sisters Q&A. And then this was me then doing a Q&A session. These are some of the notes that you'll be given and then the notes you'll be taking. Then we'll do some practical demonstrations outside. This is quite, useful things that you want to be able to use that are going to be important when you're outside. A lot of things that people don't know. And we're going for walks together when we're casing the areas outside. This year, we're going to have our projection system so that we're going to be able to study maps so that everybody is very comfortable and getting from Makkah to here. These are some of the Quran circles. Everyone will be divided according to their ability. Some people don't like to recite, some people do. And those that are advanced goes into an advanced one. This is like Shaykh Abdul Ghaffar here. This is Widad here. They're leading the high quality ones, the high level ones, I should say. And then the days of Hajj start. So then we're all now going off to Mina. We're now arriving at the Mina tents. And the Mina, look at this Mina tents. Anybody that's been to Hajj before, you should know. Pause it there. Thank you. If you have a look at this, this is not how it used to be. 2024, the game gone changed, right? So I will never go into the VIP tents. I just don't think it works with the ethos of Hajj. And I will not go into the buildings that they've now started to build as well. I hate that idea. I hate everything about it, conceptually, everything about it. I'm happy to stay in these simple kind of tents. It has its own vibe. It has its own mazza. It has its own challenges. It has its own sweat. It has its own heat. But I just want to say that as things go, you can see right in the far background that sliding door. Look above it. It's got proper ACs. You've got these grey things, which are AC units as well, old school AC units. It's still going to be burning hot in here. It's still going to be tough. Guess what? This is Hajj, right? But as Hajj goes, this new era of Hajj is not cheap. And this is why it's not cheap. The actual quality of these tents is great. 2024, honestly, was so nice. So good. Everything. So let's just play on through this. Thank you with that. So we're all going to be in this big tent, all the men together in one place, all the women, whatever. We'll be doing our sessions every day in Mina whilst we're there. There'll be dua prep. There'll be adhkar sessions. There'll be reminders. There'll be salah, X, Y, Z, whatever it is. And then we start getting ready to go for Arafa. So the 7th, the 8th goes by, the 9th goes by. We get into our prep mode. We're now ready. Now we're leaving for Arafa, the most important day of the Hajj. And this is now Arafa 10. If you look at the size of this, huge. And there'll be activities throughout the whole day. Congregational du'as for those that want to partake. Singular du'as for those that don't. And then we come to this special place here. I just bring it back a bit. This is something which is unique to our program, guys. We will have our own private little hill that, mashallah, has been our home, that will allow you to, if you look across, you can see Jabal Rahma, and it's an impossible place to stand, go, and dangerous as well. And I will not be allowing anybody to go there unless you have really got something that you want to prove. But this is not the sunnah to go on top of that anyway. But if people follow my advice and follow my program, then they're going to come with me and they're going to stand here. They're going to make some of the best and most beautiful du'as that they will have. And this is where the Hajj will culminate in its most spiritual sense, in this special place here. All of us as a group together. Then we get off to Muzdalifah at nighttime. That's an adventure in itself. Some of you will sleep 1 minute. Some of you will sleep 3 hours. All of us, all over the floor. One of the most incredible things you will ever see. We'll do Maghrib and Isha here, the Fajr next morning, and then we're going to make dua in the morning as per the Sunnah, which a lot of people don't do. And I want you to have a look now. Just pause it here. Now have a look. This is what Mina, this is what Muzdalifah looks like. It's one of the most remarkable sites where 3 million people have just slept in the open air. Those blocks of buildings you see are toilets. Yes, you should be absolutely petrified of being in that environment with those toilets. But the good thing is that I do toilet training. I will be having strategies to make sure that people are not going to end up in any kind of trouble. Just trust the process. Trust me. You can see that it's very simple. You can see the brown areas. That's just the dirt. And you can see some red parts. These red parts, inshallah, some people will be lucky enough to get hold of some rugs that you can put on the floor. But most of us are going to be basically given a little small kind of, I want to say like a mini sleeping bag, ground mat kind of thing by Al-Bayt. We'll sleep on that. It'll be more than enough. We're just getting a little bit of energy, just making dua here. And then this is the big day. This is the day of Eid now. This is the 10th day of Dhul Hijjah. This is the day that we're going to do all of the major acts of Hajj. So off we go. We leave now Muzdalifah. And now we start walking through to Mina. And this is us all marching all the way down. We come to the Jamrah. There's 3 of them, but you only stone the big one on the day of Eid. Then you shave your hair. Then you get your Qurbani done as per the Hanafi school, which we prefer. Then we come down to the Haram. And there'll be strategy on how we do that. And you will do the big Tawaf of Hajj and the big Sa'i of Hajj that you've all prepared for. It's a daytime job. It's an umbrella's job. It's everyone's wearing their normal clothes because you've followed strategy. You've gone and had a shower. You've got changed. Then in the nighttime, just pause it here. Then in the nighttime, big key point of the Hajj, which is the big walk back to our Mina tent. Why walk? Why big? Because on this 16-hour, 20-hour day, this big day of Hajj, to try to get transport, buses, taxis, this, that, whatever, you'll be sitting in those things with 50-degree heat and it going nowhere. And the way and the most successful people are those who rely upon their feet or rely on being pushed by a relative in a wheelchair. And that's why, as part of our program, we're starting in a couple of weeks' time, soon as Nusuk closes and we've got our places, we're going to start our physical preparation program. Every single day, every single week, checking in with targets that I want everybody to achieve in order to best prepare as possible physically for the exertion and the heat as per your specific needs. So this is the big one, and we're going to come through Mina to get to our camps. What we're just looking at there is the Masjid al-Khayf. Masjid al-Khayf is a very special place. The Prophet ﷺ said that 70 of the Anbiya prayed there. I'm just showing the people that as we are walking past it. Carry on. And then the next few days are wonderful days where we stay together in the tents of Mina. This is the best part of it. So many people mention this. This is the way that the whole group goes and stones every day. Goes there, comes back. Just saw a cheeky little picture of the chief there. This is what the people do. This is what everyone who wants to stay in the VIP tents will miss out on. They won't get this vibe, man. This is something incredible. And we will be stoning, and you can see that we're wearing clothes again. This is now coming to the easy end parts of the Hajj, alhamdulillah. Then there'll be the Tawaf al-Wida, which is the final farewell Tawaf, and then it's now starting to get ready to go home. And I mean, even just watching this right now is actually so emotional, subhanAllah. It's it's fantastic, alhamdulillah. So this is the last moments, the final du'as that will be made at the Jamarat, and of course we're going to be doing a lot of prep on du'a because we are insisting upon it being as per the sunnah. And that's the last act, man. These are the people on the way home after the final thingy. Thank you so much for that, Widad. Jazakumullah khair. So, all right, folks, we're going to open it up for questions. Thank you for everybody for being...
Just to stop you there.
Yeah.
Can you just touch on why we choose to do it the way that we do it? We get a lot of questions. Why Medina first, and why do you try to leave immediately and everything else?
So, obviously, I want you to know that there's not a single thing, meaning not even a minute, that is not planned in the Hajj. Every minute. And I'm not even talking about the 17, 18, 20 days over there. I mean the months beforehand. So, of course, we intentionally want people to come to Medina. And, of course, we want them to go to Makkah. And, of course, I want shifting. And all of that has its own justification and reasons. And I'm happy for everybody else to have their own opinions, but I don't really care about other people's opinions. I go with that which all of the people that have gone with me have thanked me for and appreciate. And anyone that wants to go on a different program that has different order, different things, that's absolutely great. This is not a religious thing. But I love the fact of doing the Hajj like the Prophet ﷺ did. We're taking ihram from Medina like he did. Getting ready in Medina, mentally and spiritually, charging the batteries in peace and calm. When we're in Medina, it will be the quietest that Medina will be in Hajj. I want you to understand that. When everybody goes to Medina after Hajj, it is the worst time ever to go to Medina. You have millions of people that enter, absolutely stacked full of viruses and bacteria and coughing and spluttering, and because they've killed themselves and got ill. Whereas we all come pristine, protected, brand spanking new, all fit, healthy. Nobody's in Medina. No, when I say nobody, I mean it's the quietest time that people are in Medina. People have not been in Saudi or traveling long enough to get ill. They've not exerted themselves. And so you enjoy Medina at its most calm, at its most beautiful. And most important for me is our Medina is packed. Every day is tours, lessons, reminders. So the spiritual energy is being built up, and so that we can then go to Makkah for just a few days where I say, right, guys, I don't want to see you now. I want you to go and do as much tawaf as you can. I want you to burn off that energy. I want you to knacker yourselves out and make yourselves feel proud of what it is that you've done by coming in this order. Then I pull you right out of the haram and I take you into this building and I lock the doors and I say, you're not leaving this building, basically. That's it. You're my prisoners. And then we're going to stay in that building, and nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to actually even want to go to the haram. Because when I say, right, guys, we're going to relax, we're going to enjoy ourselves here, we're going to do salah here. I just gave you 4 days there in haram. You prayed every single prayer possible and you did every tawaf possible. Now I need you to rest. Now I need you to gain energy. Now I need you to start to get, to manifest and to visualize what's going to happen over the next few days when we go to Mina. And so every step, every plan, every location is planned for that reason. And we are the first group that will leave Saudi Arabia after the Hajj is finished. As I said in the last week's webinar, we know that the best place to go and recover when you're sick and tired and ill is at home. It's not in another city. It's not in another hotel. It's not with strangers. It's back home in your bed, bit of TLC with a bit of nurse behavior from the missus if you're lucky enough, or the other way around if she's the one who falls first. Man down. Right. That's enough, man. Yallah. With that, leave it to you now to choose people and all that and all that.
I just wanted to remind you about there were a few people I spoke with over the phone last night and last week who said that they were potentially considering going with some of the groups from Pakistan. I don't know if you wanted to comment on that, or if I should just start taking questions.
Okay, let me just say something, folks, that last year, what became quite popular in our kind of elder communities and more ethnic communities, 4 dominant communities, Bengali, Pakistani, Somali, and Nigeria, that they were using their passports, Pakistani passport, Nigerian passport, to go through Pakistan. And go through by Pakistan meant that basically travel agents who didn't get in with the Saudi takeover of Hajj, right? Because what has the Saudi government done? It's basically said that, you know what, we've realized that the East have a certain level that they expect for Hajj, and the West has a certain level. And they want freedom, they want the ability to choose, they want the ability to be discerning, they want to do everything online, they want to be with their scholars, they want to be with their groups, they want to choose the best hotels, they want to take the most expensive stuff. So they said, we're going to take over the Hajj for the West. We're going to create Nusuk. And Nusuk basically is actually, with all of its warts and all of its problems, the Hajj programs that are part of it are suited to our culture, our upbringing. You know, we have a certain level of values and things. A lot of travel agents were out of business. And so travel agents that were doing kind of programs to, you know, your mum and dad and your aunts and uncles and your grandparents, you know, who just want a basic, cheap, ethnic kind of, you know, 40-day package where they, you know, secular type of package, not some Islamic one. They just practice their own cultural form of Islam. You guys know what I'm talking about. And now that was gone. So then last year they were able to revive that when the costs of Hajj in Pakistan, for example, became so expensive. And they've got a massive quota, like 50,000 or 10,000 quota or whatever. And there's not enough people that can afford to buy it. So what did they do? Some guy came up with the idea that, you know what, let's use this quota and offer it to dual nationals that live in the West. They're the ones that can afford to pay for it. They're the ones that actually, you know, could take these places. And so you find that there are people that were buying similar type of hotels, similar type of luxury quote unquote packages, but significantly cheaper, maybe 1,000 cheaper, maybe 2,000. So not massive cheaper, but cheap enough. And so therefore they are now going via them. Obviously, someone who's putting that in front of the experience, the guidance, the Dini perspective, that's a madness to me. I will never understand that.
Chief, can I come in again?
Yeah.
Chief, you must be one of these privileged people that saw people paying less. From what I saw previously and what I'm seeing now, the packages are not much cheaper. So I've got friends that are doing this.
I've not seen that.
I can share some posters and whatnot, but maybe they're 1,500 quid cheaper than us. But then their hotels,
you know, if it's
are not
5
so
grand
near
cheaper,
standard as. Then
if it's 5 grand cheaper, you think to yourself, you know what? Yeah. I'll go and I'll do an Islamic course with my guy instead, and I'll sacrifice my Hajj being a nice experience. Just want to get the Hajj over and done with. 5 grand is, you know, I can't say anything against that. Then you know what? I'd say, you know what? Fair enough. You want a tick box Hajj, then just get Hajj done. Why not? Especially if there's 10 of you going, and that's, you know. But if it's only a grand cheaper, $1.50 cheaper, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, our program is actually going to be at the cheaper end, because obviously the more expensive programs are what they call the non-shifting ones. So I think to myself that at some point, you've got to understand where is it that you're going to put your money and what is it that the value that you're looking at. And as the chief said, that the dominant idea that people were using, which is that it's cheaper, it's now actually not that cheap. I want to also say, by the way, that during the Hajj, and I swear, I say this, qasman billah, I swear by Allah, we had Somalis in our group last year, we had Pakistanis in our group, and the Somali relatives of the Somalis in our group and the Pakistani relatives of the Pakistanis in our group came to our hotel and were crying and were upset and were angry that for the sake of £1,000 or £2,000, they chose the back home route, the ethnic route, the not organized Western Islamic blah 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 group like us, or like Hidayah, or like, you know, like whatever. So I can only say to you, don't make that mistake, right? Maybe if it's your parents, Maybe if you were born abroad and you've only been living in the West for a year or two and your culture is still the back home culture, all right. But if you've been 5, 10 years or you're born in the West, don't be stupid. Don't make a mistake that you'll really regret. Right. With that.
So I'm going to prioritize questions on the call. We're not going to be going through questions on the chat at the moment. So those of you who have raised your hands, I've unmuted a few of you. So first, if we could have Dua, then Rubina, JT, and then Sophia. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Some of you raised your hand earlier and it disappeared. So please raise your hands again and I can allow you to speak. But first, we'll go with Dua, please. Dua, please unmute yourself.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. I just have a question. Thank you. I just have a question about the e-wallet. When you said that you prefer yourself that using the credit card. So I have a credit card that's maxed with $12,000, and I'm planning like a package around like $15,000 for me and for my husband. So it's a total of $30,000. Can I use it multiple times? It's a credit card, not a debit card. So can I use it and then like I pay it back fully? You know what I mean? And then in 2 days I use it again.
Correct.
Okay. Exactly. So I'm using like, for example, for 2 times, okay, or more. So if God forbid,
as long as your credit card company itself doesn't have a problem with it, which it won't, as long as you pay it back.
Exactly. And they give them 2 days to process the payments and everything. But I just have a question. God forbid, in case like I couldn't get the package or anything, and I need this money to be refunded to me. How will they refund it? Like they will refund a couple of times. They some persons told me, oh no, they're gonna send you a check over the 12,000 because the credit card is top 12,000. So how are they gonna send the rest of the money?
So based on 2024. The refund was back to if it was only one card that paid it, it doesn't matter how many times it paid it, it will pay it all back to that card. So that's the first thing. The second thing, which I know you're asking, is if your limit is this much, 12,000, and the amount that needs to come back is 30,000, what happens to the extra 18,000? Is this 18,000 a payment which is like a check or something, whatever? I have to tell you that is not what is Nusuk's policy. Now, I don't know, you can maybe tell me this, but what on earth has a 12K limit got to do with your credit card having 30,000 refunded back to it? There's no connection, isn't there?
Exactly.
Yes. So I do not accept this idea that 18K has to come back by some other way. And by the way, if that was the case, you'd then take your 12K in your credit card and you'd move it somewhere else, and you say, okay, guys, give me back another 12K. And then you'd move it to somewhere else, and then you say, right, it's empty again. And it does sound so stupid, doesn't it? It's not going to happen. Yeah. Sure. What I'm saying is that the money will go back. It will go back to that card, and it will just put the whole amount back in, or something else will happen. That's the first thing. Second thing, if it was a full refund that needed to be done, they will take 1.5% charge. That's the second point. The third thing is the length of time, and the length of time differs. And so those people that, for example, are like cancelled their Hajj early and they're not even getting involved in the process, I found that those folks got their money back quite quick. But there are also other people that it took 6 months for their money to come back.
Oh, okay.
6 months, 7 months, 3 months. But the good thing is that it's the Saudi government. It's not a private company. It's the Saudi government that has your money. So, so far, alhamdulillah, I don't know of any kind of refund problems with simple payment issues. I repeat, I do not know of any refund issues with simple payment issues like yours. Now, there's one person that I know from 2024 that they are owed a significant sum of money. I want to say that they are owed £5,000. Okay. But there's a very complicated situation. What happened with them is that they went to Hajj as well. They had a great Hajj and everything. But when when they were crediting their e-wallet, one of the payments that they made for 5,000, it went into the account and then it didn't show up, and then the intermediary bank refunded it back to the payment card. And so even though he's paid it from his bank account, it didn't appear in his e-wallet. And when he challenged his bank and said, you took it out of my account and it didn't reach the wallet, you got to refund me because that's your problem, the bank refunded him that 5,000. Then he carried on and he put the money in to the e-wallet, and then he paid for the Hajj and he went to Hajj. What happened when he came back is crazy. A couple of months ago, he comes back, and the couple of months ago, he messaged me and he goes, you're not going to believe what happened. My bank contacted me, and the bank said that, you know, that 5,000 that we refunded back to you 6 months ago when you went to the Hajj, we are taking it back from you. He goes, what do you mean you're taking it back from me? He goes, we're taking it back from you because the company that we paid it into are refusing to acknowledge that they are the ones who received the money and refunded it.
Yeah,
and
but
so,
it's not his issue. Yes, it's not his problem.
That's not my problem. That's not me. That's going to. He goes, they said no, under UK law, we don't need to suffer this 5,000 loss. They do, and we can't get in touch with them, so we're taking it back from you. So they took this.
That's way too complicated. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then what he then did is have to then open up a new ticket with Nusuk, asking for 5,000 to cover. And this has been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I'm just giving an example that it's these complicated nightmare situations that are a problem for refunds. But 99.9% of the simple ones that we all have, they are not a problem. So you don't need to worry about that. Okay.
So I can go with this way of using the same credit card a couple of times. I'm trying to make it like to the easiest and minimize my issues, my problem. So when I get to choose and buy, there is no issues. I have one more question. I'm so sorry if I'm taking too long from the other brother and sister. Azizia, I cannot imagine or picture where is it and if it's better to stay in it or not, or to choose the package that has Mecca hotels and then go the Mina camp. I cannot picture how the transportation and the distance it from
webinar.
I'm sorry?
Did you
ask on the webinar? Oh, yes, I am watching, but it's still like in my mind, I cannot picture the distance. Like I know that it's closer to Mash'ar of Mina, but it's further from there.
Remember the section where I covered the map and I said that we're going to be in the middle here and that we're going to then walk here. This is 45 minutes to walk to here. This is 45 minutes to here. So I tried my best to explain it, but honestly, I want to say to you that at some point you have to let go. At some point you have to say to yourself, you know what? I think that I've done as much as I can. I don't like the idea.
I really appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah. I don't like the idea. I'm going to just stick to a non-shifting program with Fulan. Or you have to say to yourself, you know what? I've done as much as I can. I'm looking at these folks. It looks like that they know what they're doing. I'm just going to have to let go and go with that. At some point, you're just going to have to make that decision, Dua. But I can tell you that you will love this program. That's what I will say.
Okay. It's just I'm trying to choose the easier thing for my husband, because my husband, God bless him, he's 71 and he has problem with walking like long distance. So I'm trying to choose the easiest thing for him so he can really enjoy the trip. You know what I mean? That's all my questions. Huh?
So I will say to you that the contrary to popular belief, paying the more expensive sum of money, because to go with a non-shifting one means you're going to end up paying a good few thousand extra.
Exactly. Okay. Yes.
I do not think that few thousand extra produces the result that you think that you're after.
That's exactly what I needed to hear. Okay.
There's no doubt that Hajj is tough, and there's no doubt that you're going to have to use a wheelchair for a 71-year-old. And there's no doubt that there's going to be times where you're going to have to ask me to do some deputizing when it comes to stoning and this and that. You, as long as you follow my advice And my advice will be tailored to you, and it will be tailored to your husband, and it will be tailored to the sick, and it will be tailored to the disabled. As long as you listen to me, that is how it's going to be the easiest possible, inshallah. And I don't want people to say to me, no, but I want to walk this, or I want to stone myself, or I want... When you start doing that, then I can't help. But when people say, all right, he's the scholar, he's the one that's given the fatwa, he's the one that's saying, I want you to stay here and I'm going to do this for you. And then as long as you follow instructions, inshallah, it will be the best that we can possibly be.
I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. I want to say that I have a big trust in you, since you said that the package you're choosing is the closest to how did the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did it. So I trust that. Well, since you said that, I trust that. I didn't hear it anywhere else. So inshallah, it's going to be easy. Thank you very much. And Jazakallah khair. Sorry, I'm taking too long. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Rubina,
please
Yeah.
unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. I just had two quick questions. The first one was, when we did a farewell tawaf, is that the exact day that we leave?
No, it will be probably the night before or the morning of the evening that you leave. Yeah.
Wait, that's my brain just didn't comprehend what you just said.
Meaning that it will only be on the same day if you are leaving very late on that day. So if you're leaving PM, then I'll send you in the morning, or we'll go the night before. It will all be as per my plan when I decided over that.
Okay. And the second question is, and I think I asked this in the chat, it's not that important, but I just wanted to know out of curiosity. Nusuk had a reputation when it first came up about the lottery system. Was that to do with what's it called, verification and things like that? That was my question.
No, its reputation for it being a lottery system is what basically what they mean by that is that everybody is trying to get a place within there's 10,000 people and they're trying to go for 3,000 places, for example. This is what they mean by a lottery system. How do we know that we're going to be the ones? So this is where the reputation comes from.
Should we be worried with your program in that sense?
I don't think anybody for my program needs to be worried upon the condition that they follow my instructions.
Inshallah. Okay.
Anybody that doesn't follow my instructions, 100% should be worried. Anybody that follows my instructions, and I mean very accurately when I say this, that, on this moment, on this day, give me this number, give me that, those people get into the program. The other people who start to have doubts or start listening to other people or start to have too many voices, good luck to them. They're going to confuse themselves. They're going to get left behind. Simple as that.
Okay. Jazakallah khairan.
JT, please unmute yourself. JT.
Assalamu alaikum. So sorry, my name's Janab. Can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
Super. Sorry, I just had a couple of questions, please. My first question was just going back to the e-wallet. Every time we're topping up the e-wallet with sort of sterling money and it's converting it into Saudi riyals. So let's say I put in £15,000. Will it show us what that has converted into in Saudi riyals, just so I know how much more we need to top it up by?
No, it'll be the opposite to what you just described. So what it would like, I'm going to give you an example. You want to go from, so you're going to join us from London, and it says, and it says there that for London, for two people, is 110,000 riyals, 55,000 riyals per person, 110,000 riyals. That is what you know is the cost of your Hajj.
Yeah.
So you're going to click on the e-wallet. You're going to type in 110,000 riyals.
Got it.
Yeah. But no, actually, let me just say that again. You won't be able to because your Starling's got a 10K limit. So you're going to put 40,000 riyals. 40,000 riyals. And when you press pay, it will take the card details and it will then credit 40,000, bam, just like that. And when you look on your phone, just like every time that you buy something, the notification will come up on the screen and it will not say that you just spent 40,000 riyals. It will say you just spent 9,000 riyals at nusuk.com.
Yeah, got that. That's absolutely
Now you've used your 10K limit for the day. Now the next day you're going to go back and you're going to now do another 40,000 riyals, because you're going to build yourself up to 110. And you're going to call Starling and say, I know that you think that I'm going crazy, but this is me and I am paying this money. And you've had that conversation with them beforehand as well. Yeah. And then the next day, you're going to then pay 30,000 riyals. You actually pay in riyals on the website itself. Is that clear?
Yeah, absolutely. Got it. Fantastic. So just following on that then, when you said we need to be topping up with a couple of thousand riyals extra, are you going to tell us how much extra to put in? Okay. Fine.
All right.
Brilliant. Sorry, I do have three more questions which I've written down. Sorry. Where we keep talking about doubles. So are you talking about doubles in Makkah or Medina? Because we know there's not going to be doubles in Azizia. Okay, got it. And then, sorry, third question. When we're all doing the Umrah together, I guess we're all going to be doing the Umrah together, yes, as a group?
The first one, correct. Yes, the first one. Yep.
And then my last question, sorry. Have you had anybody previously where the luggage has got lost?
Chief, have we lost anyone's luggage?
Yes.
Which year?
2017, Ajmal.
Oh, Ajmal, yes, of course, Miskeen. There's a guy here actually in Altrincham. We're in Cheadle here, but he's in Altrincham. I want you to listen to this story. This is worth it.
Story. I'll tell you the story. So, Ajmal arrives into Medina airport, and his bag doesn't arrive. This is 2017, and his bag never showed up. Most of the time, the bags don't arrive. Alhamdulillah, we managed to track them. Yeah, we find that normally if you're in Medina, we'll get them to you in Medina. Or even that, I can't think of an example where that's happened, to be honest, but we would get it to you. This chap's baggage did not arrive, and the kind of the big thing with this guy was that he never complained once. And I went to drop him off at his house on the way home, and we opened his front door, and his suitcase was inside his front door. It'd been returned back to his house, and that was from the start to the end.
Tell him the main part of the story.
I've not got another main part.
Yeah, the main part is because I want you to imagine the sabr of this guy. Ajmal hafidhahullah ta'ala wa ra'ah. His sabr was so amazing that he didn't tell his wife at all that the bag had been lost. Or he didn't complain to anybody, actually. Right? We knew, but he just, bought things what was needed, and that was it. And his wife has seen this bag come on the first day after, or second day after, and she's left it there in the flipping porch and not thought of once telling her husband that, by the way, this is your bag, it's got your luggage tags on it, blah, blah, blah. He's not told her that, I've lost it. He's not complaining. She's not connecting. These guys walk in, see the bag there. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. But anyway, absolutely hilarious, incredible. And now, what are you talking about, Chief? My bags.
This year with that bags also, they didn't come on time, but then they came like 2 days later, I think. In Medina.
Get with that's 2 days, whatever. JT, listen to me. In 2023, on the day...
completely your own.
Huh?
They're completely your own fault, though.
No, it wasn't. Okay, it was my fault. But in 2023, we arrived at Jeddah airport, and you will see when we're going to Jeddah airport that the Jeddah airport final part is the most stressful part of the Hajj. There's absolutely no doubt about it. The final departure, leaving Makkah, getting out that rush and getting to Jeddah, especially when we're leaving among the first people, that was incredibly stressful. In the stress and whatever, I left my bag and I couldn't remember where it was in the airport. And I thought that security had obviously found it and had trashed it. So when I've started looking for my bag, I have actually missed the flight. And so I've checked in, but I've lost my bag and I missed the flight. And then I get to the check-in, I get to the gate, and I'm like, what the hell? And they've said, no, it's closed. That's it. You're stuck here. So I spent the night in the airport, and I got on the flight the next day. When I get home, because my 2 bags had gone in the airplane, then been taken off, they lost my bags for 17 days. But alhamdulillah, they were delivered 17 days later.
Oh, wow, mashallah, that's good.
So,
I think I'll just have a
so
contingency.
we haven't lost a bag yet.
So, you know, we've not lost a bag. I think now, and one of the recommendations, I think it might have been on the last year's, is to have one of these tags in your bag.
Air
Have an air
tags,
tag in your bag.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
The other thing is, if there are things that you absolutely, like, really essentially need to keep them in your personal bag on the plane, because I mean, we will go through a lot of detail on the packing list, inshallah, once the group is finalized and everybody books their spot, inshallah. We go into a lot of detail about what you should pack and what you should bring with you. And we find that everybody brings a lot of extras with them, whether it's medication or cooling towels or whatever it is that we recommend for people to bring. I have no doubt that people in the group will be willing to share with you if it happens that your bag gets misplaced in the airport or something like that. But if you have the air tags and you keep your absolute essentials in your personal bag, it shouldn't be a problem, inshallah. I wouldn't worry too much about that right now.
Jazakallah so much. Thank you.
Sophia, please unmute yourself to ask your question, Sophia. If you're still there, I don't see her name. Okay, if Sophia is not here, let's go with Abu Zubaydah. Oh, Dr. Abid is trying to speak this whole time.
Miskin.
Sorry, Dr. Abid, I've unmuted you if you want to say something.
Doc, no respect to Doc. What's happening, Doc?
Nothing. It's okay.
Okay.
Gus, man. What, let down
Abu Zubaydah?
I just wanted to slate you about your story because there was factual inaccuracies in your story. But anyway, I'll let you go.
Of all people, you better get off this call right now. Honestly. Astaghfirullah.
Go ahead, Abu Zubaydah. Unmute yourself, please. Okay, if not Abu Zubaydah, let's hear from Hasib. Oh, alaikum salam.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Jazakallah khair, Sheikh, for the overview here. My question is about the e-wallet. So right now, my wife has been verified, and I'm still pending. So let's assume the e-wallet goes live. Can I still top up while I'm still pending, or I have to wait for everyone to be verified?
Yeah, so actually, I do not know the answer to this with 100% certainty, because I heard both answers from Nusuk, meaning Nusuk themselves said yes, and they also said no. So short story, we will know in 4 days' time. So in 4 days' time, if your account allows you to top up, then that proves that not everybody needs to be verified in a family account to get the account topped up. And I don't see this as a major issue. I think that probably is possible. At the same time, if it's not possible, then you know, right, okay, I have to wait for verification. But the good news is I've got 20 days to get verified. And everybody, inshallah, will get verified. And as you've just seen in the demonstration, it's a very quick process to make the payment. So it's not a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right.
The second question is about, you mentioned visa getting denied. So can you describe a scenario where my visa will be denied after fully verified from UNOSOC?
I am, but I also want to say I've not seen a person being denied a visa at all, other than the one that I spoke about in the first webinar. You know, the one who had the security issue and whatever?
Okay.
Yeah, so if you remember that, if you go back to the first webinar, I told the story, but basically nobody gets denied a visa through Nusuk, and pretty much everyone gets through. But I was just giving a hypothetical.
I see. Okay. Jazakallah.
All right.
Thanks.
Hasib, please unmute yourself. Hasib Akram.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. It's Hasib from down the road in Cheadle.
Why didn't you just turn up at the masjid, man? Why do you have to take up my time here? Just tell me that.
I was thinking the same thing, actually. I knew you were going to shout at me.
Go on.
Quick question. So me, inshallah, and my mom, inshallah, will go. And I was just wondering what you advise in terms of booking rooms, like double or just completely sack it and separate and just do, you separate and mom separate. Like, what have you advised in that situation in the past?
How independent is mum?
She's fairly independent. She went on Umrah with CMA, last year, and she, with a group of anti-Gs, you know what I mean? But, Hajj is more than Umrah, I guess.
Honestly, if
Give her,
your
let her chill out on her own, man. Leave mum to do her own thing, man.
if your mum is okay, yeah, she'll have such a fun time being with aunties by herself, I tell you right now.
Yeah, okay, fine.
And as for you, you will have a much better experience than not being with your mum, right? But if your mum needs support and help and X, Y, Z of a very specific type, then probably a double might make more sense. But if your mom can move around and independent, can use a phone by herself, got a good language, whatever situation, she'll love being and you save, you probably save $1,000 or $2, you know what I mean, as well. That's it's nothing to be sniffed at.
Yeah, inshallah. Okay, yeah, I'll ask her how she feels about it and take it from there. Jazakallah khair, Shaykh.
Please go ahead, Saida. Saida, unmute yourself, please.
Excuse me. Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. I have a bit of a roundabout question. Just hear me out. So I wanted to ask if the packages, the 4 gateways are the only.
Yes.
So during the second round, where the global packages would become available, there's no customization at all possible.
There is.
There is? Okay. So
but
yeah,
as I said before.
Oh yes, I know. I know that you've said before it's not good to wait. That's not really my
the risk of waiting until then, and the quota, especially for something like the UK, I just don't know whether that risk is worth it.
Yes. I know you did mention that in the last webinar. My question really was more, what say you to purchasing, if one is able to, purchasing during the first round, and if potentially there are still quotas, and by the way, I'm coming from Canada, not from the UK. There are still quotas available for Canada during the second phase, trying to get a customizable flight package.
Say that again. You would buy it in the first round.
Yes.
And then do what in the second round?
Get a customizable package.
No. You're mixing yourself up. You're confusing yourself. Let me explain. There's only one package that you buy.
Yeah.
You either buy it in the first round,
and
that's it now. You now have a full Toronto, back to Toronto Hajj package. You don't, and you can't now buy another package. What you, I think, want to say is, I want to buy my own flight.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So that's something completely different. Okay. And of course, that many people will be doing that. It's horribly expensive because you burn that Toronto ticket, but there'll be Canadians, for example, that are in Qatar. Like the chief,
exactly.
like the chief here. If you look at the chief, Hajj with AE help, he'll be doing exactly that same thing.
Half of Canada is here, man. All the boys are here, man. We're going to get our own flight across, man. We're going to charter.
It's true.
You know, as Dana said, he's going to teach us how to charter a plane, man.
The chief himself is going to. I mean, we don't pay for our packages. Just so that you understand, how is it that we go? All of us get our Hajj paid for, all of the team. But the package is an actual proper place. So the chief, he will have a Manchester package bought for him by Al Bayt. The Manchester ticket will be burned because he lives in Qatar. And so he will buy a Qatar flight and come from Qatar itself. He will use the Hajj visa from the package, but he won't use the Manchester flight. He can't refund it, can't use it. It's going to get burned. And that's going to happen with Arif, for example, one of our other team members. He's going to be exactly in your scenario. He's going to be using a Toronto, back to Toronto, Canadian Nusuk, 9th of February package. It will be bought for him. But he won't use that. He will be in Oman. And he will buy his flight from Oman to Medina and then Jeddah to Oman. And he will burn the Toronto flight. And there will be many of these expats that will do that exactly. So whether you want to go from X, Y, Z, whether you want to buy domestic flights, not whatever, you're allowed to do all of that. The shame of it is, though, the shame is that it's going to cost you money extra, because now last year, there was a system where you had an opportunity to not have to burn the ticket necessarily and actually buy your own flight with the package. They got rid of that, and thankfully they did, because it was a nightmare. It melted the system for those people. It caused a lot of problems, and they got rid of it. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
All right, Sayyid.
Markabo, go ahead. Please unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, Sheikh. Thank you so much for the update and the information you shared. I have 3 questions.
Yeah.
The first one is, you mentioned in the tour there's going to be a part where you walk to Quba Masjid. I'm not familiar how far it is from Medina, but would elderly individuals be able to make that walk?
Yes, easily.
Okay, no wheelchair necessary.
You can. We have some people on a wheelchair, but it's a very comfortable walk. It's a very nice walk. Yeah, it's not like a tough walk. And it's a very important walk as well, because, and I force everybody to do it. And the reason for that is because it's going to be your first real conditions, real temperature, real time Saudi walk, one of maybe 20, 30 that you're going to be doing throughout the Hajj. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it allows people to basically measure themselves and get an idea of, where they're at and what they're going to need to do for the rest of the Hajj. I'm going to need to do this, going to need to get help, going to need to get a wheelchair, I need to get another wheelchair, I need to get a helper, blah, 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 blah.
Great. Attached to that question is also walking to the Jamarat. If I'm going to be coming with my mom and my husband, but my mom has an injury in her ankle, I believe, her knee, and she's not able to walk, but she wants to partake in every single part of the ritual, including the Jamarat. Me pushing her on a wheelchair, would that be something that I'd be able to do, you think? Or
yes,
my husband would be able to? Okay.
Not only can you're required to. That's the reason you're going, basically.
No, I mean, would it be difficult for me to push her? Is there sand in the way, or is it
it's not the most wheelchair friendly country in the world, correct? But it is all doable. That's because that's what everybody does. Yeah.
Okay. Is praying at the Masjid al-Namira?
Namira, yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, Masjid Namira. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. Do you take your group there, or?
No. Nobody, no group goes to Masjid Namira. No group.
And is it because it's too busy in Arafa that time, or is it
multiple reasons? Number one, being too busy. Number two, it's actually outside of Arafah as well. That causes its own problem. Number three, it's not fair to the people who don't have groups and packages. You see, we're very lucky. We're in a luxury package. We'll have our own tent, own drinks, fridges, ACs, food. Whereas the people who have nothing, they use Masjid Namira for shade on the day where, it becomes very, very dangerous. And so for every reason in the world, we will not be going Masjid Namira.
Okay. So I'm thinking of using a prepaid MasterCard. I have a credit card, but I don't want to pay the 3% foreign exchange fee.
Very good. Very good.
Do you have any advice as to whether it's a good idea or not?
I don't specifically, but it sounds great. But what I want you to do is to put that question on the chat. And Tamer, who went last year, and he's into finance and things like that, I'm sure that he'll respond and give you some advice. You might have seen him responding to some questions. Tamer Ashur, did you see him in the group?
How do you spell his name?
Just put your question in the chat, and I'll make sure that he answers it. Don't worry.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry, I said 3. I have one last one. What's your advice in regards to the heat? Because
don't worry about that.
I'm very worried about
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'll deal with it.
You wouldn't advise her to have a hat or something, or
Don't worry about it. Let's get the Hajj place first. Let's get the Hajj place first, then we'll start the heat training. Don't worry.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Sheikh.
Barakallah feek. Barakallah feek.
Karima, please unmute yourself. Karima. We go into a lot of detail, Markabo. Once everybody secures their spots, you'll be sick of us. It's going to be a lot of material, and we're going to go through everything, inshallah, eventually. Karima, please unmute yourself. If not Karima, then I'm not sure how to pronounce this name. Hatib Khan, I think it was.
Assalamu alaikum. Sheikh. I have a quick question. So basically, I approve of it. I get verified. My wife get verified. My sister is still on verification process. And we were looking on it, and she was telling me that we have to go to the non-shifting and luxury. But when I was asked this question on it, I've been told that you can go to the luxury or premium. So we were debating what's the main difference between the luxury and premium ticket.
Absolutely nothing. In our program, it's completely irrelevant. You can choose whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
Jazakallah. That's all I have. Thank you.
If this is something to clarify, please. People are getting confused by this. You know, once you're getting through and they're asking you to select premium luxury, it's absolutely irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything at all. I think that Nusuk are doing that to try and get an idea of where people want to go. That's the only thing I can. Once the package goes live, we will share the links for our package, and we'll take you straight to that. You don't need to worry about what you clicked on.
We're going to tell you exactly what the package is. You don't need to worry about trying to work out the category and whether it's luxury or blah blah. Listen,
even codes. People asking about package codes, we will give you all those things. So don't stress about that.
When it goes live, we'll let you know, guys. I want to say I should have said this a while ago, but I forgot. There is a very important post that I'm going to put out on the channel tomorrow. It's a poll. And I'm going to hold you all here, all you 134 people and all those that are listening to this on the recording. I'm going to hold you all accountable. And I'm telling you by name if you do not vote on that poll. So I'm telling you now that this poll is going to go out on the channel tomorrow. I need everybody. When I say everybody, I mean the lead pilgrim for every family structure. That's what I mean. So I don't want a husband and wife doing it, but I want one person of every family to vote on that poll. Just giving you a warning. That's for it. And also, if there's somebody here and you see a phone call that says unknown number, for the next few days, make sure you pick it up. After a few days, it's not us anyway, so it doesn't matter. Also, Telegram.
Even calls on the Telegram. Yeah, you get calls on the Telegram from the people. Add those people in the list.
Add the contacts that we told you to do of the team, and make sure that if you see a Telegram call coming, take the call. Okay, take the call. We're not spamming you. The people that are being called for specific reasons, because we think that they are they're needing help, or we think that they don't have the full details. You are not being called randomly. Jazakumullah khair. Yes, with that.
Please unmute yourself, Salman.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. No one on the call. I'll be perfectly honest here. I'm fairly new to the group and don't really know where I'm at the moment. So the scenario is basically last year we ended up losing. We didn't end up going on Hajj just because my application didn't get verified. No matter how long I spent on the phone with Nusuk, I just didn't get anywhere. I tried to contact people out there, and it just ended up being too late. Nothing happened. Now, my scenario is this, basically. I've got a Portuguese passport, but I've lived here all my life. My wife, she's British, so her application gets verified straight away. And for me, what they come up with is, well, I'll tell you now because actually I just got the notification today. Proof of residence is not required in your case, as Nusuk profile indicates that you have a residency ID. All I've done is added my driving license, which is what I read in some recommendations online. I just feel as though I'm not getting anywhere. And I know it's a bit of a rant, but I was wondering if anyone could help.
Yeah, no, it's not a rant, Salman, and I appreciate the stress, because we did see some people that are really struggling with Nusuk's complete inability to understand that we have a very nuanced system in Europe, that pre-Brexit, when the people were given the chance to be able to come and take citizenship or residency, people were not needed to have to change their passport or do anything. The problem is that Nusuk just does not recognize that. They basically think that everybody's just like some Paco Bengali who comes in and has a BRP and things like that. They don't recognize that there are people that came from Europe without the need for that, and that they have it. And that's
But
why
another thing I did do last year was upload my do you know how there was this the scheme, the EU settlement scheme or whatever it is.
Exactly, and that's the problem. You know what that is. The UK government knows what that is. Nusuk doesn't have a clue what that is.
Right.
That's the ultimate problem we've got here. Now, Nusuk is to blame slightly for this, but also the flipping, shenanigans of the UK and Europe are also to blame for this as well. They can't keep on, changing fundamental basic norms and expecting the world to keep up with it. So it's a bit of, it's a bit of blame here and a bit of blame there. But anyway, regardless of where the blame is, we now need to try to work out what's going to work. And you're not alone, because obviously you should be alone. There should be unique. It should be unique for you. But in this year now, you've got all the people whose BRP is expired and they've got this new e-visa system, right? And so, and most of those folks, they've had their things rejected because they're sharing an expired BRP, or they're showing a code, and at the same time, there are a few of these people that are able to blag it. They're getting through the system. They're getting through the system by showing their e-visa settlement status, and they screenshot it, and some random people in Nusuk that are sitting there at a desk that are just, following a set of guidelines in front of them, they're just, basic people they are. They're saying, yep, verified, not verified, verified, not verified. And so obviously some of them are getting through, some are not. Some people, as you said, are getting through with driving licenses, others are not. So there's no way that we can tell you what's going to work. What I can tell you is that Nusuk have been, this has been reported to Nusuk. It's been escalated to Nusuk, not just by you, obviously, but I mean by the partners, by the companies.
Right.
They've done it formally, and they've sat with them, actually, the ministers and everything, and said, what are you going to do? And in classic style, in that part of the world, it's like, inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. And obviously, nothing's happening.
This is awfully frustrating, Sheikh. You know why? Because last year, this was literally the only reason we didn't go. I had the money sitting.
So what happened to your wife then? You had to do a refund?
No, I didn't even I didn't bother topping anything up. It's just if I'm not going, she's not going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got it. So the question is now. Was there a reason why you didn't?
Let's do a form for him, and I'll get onto Sahel to see what is active.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do, Salman. Salman, what you're going to do is, obviously you can see Chief speaking, Hajj with help. You message him, okay, from the chat. And what we're going to do is that we're going to try to raise it with Al-Bayt to put it through to Nusuk from our side. See what we're going to, I don't think there's any major, special route that we have, but at least other people get eyes on it.
Maybe these guys have managed to get a few through, so let's at least see what they've.
Let's see if we can flags it. Let's see if we can flags it. Yeah. All right.
I appreciate the time. Sorry.
Excellent.
If I could please have Sophia unmute herself. Sophia.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. My question is, I got verified yesterday, me, my son, as well as my sister. We all three of us got verified. I just want to know, if we select the triple rooms, because my son's only 14-year-old, I wouldn't want him to be in a separate room with someone else because he's still a child. Will the triple rooms be guaranteed?
Oh, almost definitely. But you do realize that he's going to be by himself in Azizia. I say by himself. There is no by himself in my program. My program The one thing that there's no such thing as is by himself. But you do realize that he will not be sleeping in the same room as you in Azizia, in Mina, and in Arafa. You do understand that, yes?
Yes, I do. I know
Right.
over there, I think, yeah, all of
So,
you will be there.
I'm just saying that, that therefore that doesn't mean or make Makkah and Medina that much different. But I can tell you personally, I can tell you, Sophia, that you three will be together in your in Makkah and Medina 99.99%. It doesn't need you to worry about it at all. And that will be the case for the vast majority of our group. Probably in our 500 people, one family might have to take one for the team. One family, one setup. And maybe not, and maybe even not. So you don't need to worry about it. Okay, Sophia?
Okay. And is our flights going to be direct or indirect?
We don't know that yet. But either way, direct, there is no such thing as direct, meaning there's no flights that go to Medina direct.
Oh.
So they go to Jeddah and then from Jeddah to Medina. So direct is also like not so accurate for our program because we start in Medina first, right? So when we fly via Saudia, which there will be Saudia flights, it will be, for example, London to Jeddah, and then there will be an internal flight 4 or 5 hours later from Jeddah to Medina. Whereas the rest of the folks are going to be either on Emirates or Turkish or Qatar. It will go to obviously Doha, Istanbul, blah, blah, and then straight to Medina. So that's how it will work.
Okay. That's
All
fine.
right.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Let's have Karima next. Karima, please unmute yourself, and then we'll have Dina and Umar. So Karima first. Karima, please unmute yourself to ask your question.
Karima is clearly struggling because obviously, yeah.
I think she's gone to pray. She messaged earlier on saying that she was going to go to pray. So,
Okay, so
but I've got her questions answered. I'm dealing with it, inshallah.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Dina, please unmute yourself. Dina.
Jazakallah khair, thank you. I just had a question. I submitted my application and my husband's as a family, and I got verified. He has not yet. We're from Canada, and my passport expires November 2025, and his passport expires July 2025. We're in the process of renewing our passports, but it's going to be a couple of weeks before we get the renewed passports. Do you think that's the reason why his hasn't been verified, or do you see that being an issue for us as we go through this process?
It's the second. And
yes. So I'm helping one group member now that's having the same issue. Difficult to know what to do with you guys because you're saying it's going to be a few weeks. If you've got a new passport now, then it would be different. So what's happened with this other lady is she's been excellent actually, mashallah. She's answered all the questions and stuff, but they've renewed a passport and they've actually got it back. But when they've gone to try and or to change the passport details in Nusuk, it's blocked them and not let them back in. So now my thinking might be different, that you can't change the situation anyway, that if your passport arrives before your verification, then we try and change it. If it doesn't, then you let it be verified, and then we will try and change it afterwards.
So I've been verified. My passport expires in November,
Okay.
but I've been verified.
You don't change yours. Don't
Okay.
kind of do anything with it. With your husband's, we can only wait until his passport comes or it's verified, if that makes sense.
Right.
Dina,
So
are you not able to get overnight? Are you not able to? Because I think they can do 48 hours through.
Yeah, I mean, we're
Service
going
Canada.
we're going to expedite it as much as possible. But I'm just wondering, like every day I check and I submitted a ticket on Nusuk to see, because I submitted both of our applications together and I got verified and he didn't. So now I'm wondering if the only reason is because his passport expires in July, and mine in November.
So
technically, yours shouldn't have been done if there was a case with passport dates, because you don't have
That's what
6
I
months
mean.
after.
Yeah.
But like I said, for yourself now, my kind of advice would be to really push for getting that passport to you as soon as possible. Once
Dina,
you've got it, then
the wrong thing, Dina.
Then you message us and then we try and work it out, inshallah.
You need to focus on what you said, which is the expedition. There is no way that your passport should take 2 weeks, whether expedited or not expedited. You need to now do whatever it takes to get those passports back.
Okay.
If you do pick up service, Tina, if you do pick up service and they can get it to you within 48 hours. They do that for emergency cases.
Okay.
Just go into the Service Canada building and you should be able to do that for you. And the passport backlog is also relieved now. So it shouldn't be any problem, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. Yeah, so we'll
once,
try to...
Once you have your passport, please message on the Hajj with help before you change anything. Inshallah, by then I'll have some more information as to what to do with it. But yeah, really push for the passport on your own as well, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't edit. Don't focus on verification, not verification. Your only focus is on getting the new passports as quick as possible. Once they're in your hands, you message the chief on the Hajj with help, and then he will then tell you whether you're going to be editing pre or post the actual purchase of the package. Is that clear?
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Okay. Perfect. Jazakallah khair. Thank you.
Please unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam. Musafir Amr, you back here?
Saturday morning, inshallah.
Allah.
So I'm going to miss the Cheadle thing tomorrow then.
Don't worry, bro. It's not really for the folks on the webinars. It's for those folks who don't even know what a webinar is.
Oh, actually, I put my hand up by accident, but I was thinking of some questions to make the most of it. So let's say I go for like a triple or quad room on my own or whatever. Do you put people of the same background in the same room?
No,
same age groups?
No. We find aliens from Mars and we stick them with you. What the hell, bro? Bloody hell! That's what a question. Don't worry, bro.
Are these your recruits, man?
This is the level that I've had to. I'm scraping the barrel here, Chief. I'm telling you, bro. Scraping the bloody barrel.
Also, you know, you said there was like more than 500 people in the group.
Yes.
Isn't that quite a lot? I don't know what's normal. How does everyone like benefit from your teaching and stuff?
It's 500 less than what I want. That's how much it is.
Oh, really?
Don't you worry about much.
Okay, I'll see you next week, inshallah.
Take care, bro. Assalamu
alaikum.
And finally, Rubina, unless other people raise their hands. Rubina, please unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, sister. With that, this was a quick question for you. I think I messaged you. It was just about will there be like separate webinars for just sisters alone to speak about what to pack and all these personal things?
Yeah, so we actually have once everybody secures their spots on Nusuk, we create a separate Telegram group. I don't mean for the ladies. I mean for the people who are officially in the Hajj with AE group after they secure their spots on Nusuk. Yeah. And then we will go into Hajj preparation mode. And we'll be sending you a lot of resources and details about how to prepare yourself. One of those things being the menstruation workshop. Mm-hmm. So Shaykh and Dr. Abid will be giving a lot of advice about medication, for example, if some of the ladies want to take medication to interrupt their cycles while they're there. Mm-hmm. And they'll be advising a lot on that topic. We don't normally open a separate group just for ladies. But if that's something that a lot of people really want, like a call just for the ladies, for example, then we can discuss that, inshallah. As it stands, what we normally do is we just have the menstruation session just for the ladies. And I mean, if
I was just thinking, like, because it might just be like silly questions that men may not want to hear, like, oh, how many abayas do you take, and you know, all these silly little things.
Last year we subjected all the guys to the abayas conversation and all that because we have.
What about the men? We need to worry about what we wear as well, man.
Yeah, we have to.
Are we going to go without clothes or what?
We had to put up with so much conversation about which slippers they can wear that's ihram compliant.
Shut up.
They had to put up with our abaya talk, so don't worry too much about that. But the more sensitive topics, we will have a Zoom call just for the ladies or a Telegram call just for the ladies, but that the guys won't join to discuss the fiqh of menstruation and all of that. And of course, you're welcome to just approach me directly if there's something that you feel shy asking to Shaykh or Dr. Abid, then you can contact myself or any of the other female guides, inshallah.
Okay, Jazakallah khairan. I appreciate it.
Nothing wrong with slipper talk. Slipper talk is life, mate. Life.
So I think that's the last question. Unless somebody else raises their hand, I think we're done.
All right, nice one. Well done with that. All right, team. Jazakumullah khair, guys. And thank you, everybody, for signing in. And it wasn't that long, alhamdulillah. And just stay tuned to the channel. Again, keep checking in periodically on the chat. And make sure that if you see a call, take it. Make sure you change your Telegram settings and make contacts out of the people that I told you to. And when the vote comes tomorrow, poll, make sure that one of the family answer it. بارك الله فيكم وجزاكم الله خير سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وأستغفرك اللهم وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.